Internet, this is Jacob Clifford. 12 years ago, economic reporters focused on one thing.
Unemployment.
The unemployment rate is just not going down.
Today, in 2022, they focus on something else.
High inflation.
Inflation.
8.6% year-over-year inflation.
In an introductory macroeconomics class, you learn about this, the business cycle. It shows the idea that economy has troughs and peaks and goes down and up over time. This makes it look like the economy is uniform and predictable, but let's look at economics in real life. The Great Recession lasted from 2007 to 2009. Unemployment was high and stayed above 5% until 2015. But at least we didn't have to worry about inflation. In fact, during the Great Recession, prices actually went down, which creates a whole nother set of different problems. And from 2015 to 2020, the US had record low unemployment and the economy was doing great until
The coronavirus pandemic has tanked the global economy with unprecedented speed.
the pandemic caused unemployment to spike to nearly 15%. But the recovery was relatively quick and the unemployment rate fell back down to below 5% by September of 2021. And that's partially why we ended up with the new problem.
Inflation.
The causes of inflation are pretty simple. Either people want to buy more stuff or there's less stuff for people to buy. So today, which one is it? Well, it's both. On the demand side, consumer spending stayed strong as consumers switched from buying services to buying more goods. And government spending, including stimulus checks to avoid a massive recession, resulted in more demand and higher prices. On the supply side, labor shortages and supply chain bottlenecks in both production and transportation resulted in less stuff for consumers and higher prices. On top of that, the Federal Reserve's quantitative easing and buying of bonds during the pandemic increased the supply of money and kept interest rates low. And this fueled even more spending and higher prices. But again, the fear was that the pandemic would cause a drawn-out, persistent recession. No one really predicted that people would get back to work and the economy would bounce back so quickly, so we ended up with unanticipated inflation. Okay, that's what happened, so what should we do about it? You understand economics, so you know what we shouldn't do. Regardless of your politics, now is not the time for more government spending without raising taxes. Even though people are struggling and we want to help, government programs that give people more money to spend will likely make inflation worse.
Governor Newsom announced tonight 23 million taxpayers will receive up to $1,050 in direct payments for what he calls inflation relief.
So yes, hopefully federal and state governments push economically sound policies, but in the end, fighting inflation is largely up to the Fed. So it all comes down to this guy. This is Jerome Powell. He's the chair of the Federal Reserve, and it's up to him and his team to knock out inflation. Now, the only problem with him is sometimes you need a degree in economics to translate what he's saying.
While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses. These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation. But a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain.
I'll translate for you.
While higher interest rates, slower growth, and softer labor market conditions will bring down inflation, they will also bring some pain to households and businesses. But a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain.
Going back to the business cycle in the textbook, if we're here right now and the economy's overheating, we have high inflation, if we fight it, we might end up down here with a recession and high unemployment.
Fighting inflation is their top priority. It means that unemployment probably will get worse, and that is not going to shake them from their resolve.
So what specifically is Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve going to do to fight inflation? Well, I'm going to talk about that in another video. All you have to do is like and subscribe. Hey, if you're a teacher, make sure to take a look at the worksheet that goes along with this video. The link is below. If you're a student in college or an AP class, take a look at my ultimate review pack. It has tons of practice. Thanks for watching. Till next time.